Ready for a peek into the future? We're diving deep today into the biggest tech trends, the stuff that's going to reshape, well, everything.
And we've got a great roadmap for this journey. A YouTube video called Top 20 New Technology Trends That Will Define the Future.
From the channel AI Uncovered, right. So we're going beyond the gadgets themselves.
Exactly. This is about understanding the massive shifts, how industries are changing, how everyday life is being impacted, all thanks to tech.
Yeah, it's not sci-fi anymore. It's happening now.
Yeah,
So let's do this. Hit those big trends, then really zoom in on some game changers.
sounds good.
All right, well, got to start with the big kahuna, artificial intelligence. I mean, the scale of this thing blew me away.
Well, the video mentions AI hitting like a $190 billion market by 2025, but it's bigger than money, you know?
Yeah.
It's AI personalizing your healthcare or instantly spotting financial fraud. We're talking about machines that learn and make decisions.
Sometimes better than us humans, right?
Right. And that brings up a huge question. What happens to jobs? What happens when machines can do what humans used to?
Well, yeah.
It's not just job losses, it's whole new kinds of jobs appearing that we can't even picture yet.
Okay, so jobs are changing, but then there's 5G.
Huge. Predicted to be almost $668 billion just by 2026. It's not just faster internet.
No way.
It's instantaneous data, the backbone of smart cities. Think self-driving cars zipping around.
But there's got to be a catch, right? Everything has a downside.
Of course. The cost of 5G setup, it's crazy expensive. Plus, some places have regulations that are like hitting the brakes.
Makes sense. So while we're on connected things, 5G is kind of the fuel for that Internet of Things, right? The IoT.
Absolutely. And that market, it's supposed to hit $1.6 trillion by 2025. Think fridges, industrial sensors, everything talking to each other.
That's a lot of data flying around. Which makes me think security. Hackers must be having a field day, right?
Huge concern. The more connections, the bigger the target we become.
Makes sense.
So enhancing cybersecurity, that's mission critical. The market for that's looking at $248.26 billion by 2024.
Okay, so we're connected. Data's everywhere. How do we even make sense of it all? That's where edge computing comes in, right?
Bingo. It's like instead of sending your data to some far-off server, you bring the processing power closer. Imagine a local library, right?
Versus having to travel across the country for some info.
Exactly. Speed and efficiency, especially for things like self-driving cars where every millisecond counts.
But didn't the video say managing those edge networks gets tricky?
It can be a headache, yeah. And pricey, too. You need the right infrastructure, the experts. We're just figuring this out, really.
Yeah, sounds complex. No, blockchain. Everyone thinks crypto, like Bitcoin, but it's way bigger than that.
Right. The video makes a good point. Blockchain's like a digital ledger anyone can see, nobody controls. Imagine verifying a product's origin or medical records being super secure.
Game changer for sure. But what about those downsides I keep hearing? Slow, uses a ton of energy.
Those are real concerns. Scalability and energy. Got to tackle those. But even so, the market's looking at almost $40 billion by 2025.
Okay, time for the fun stuff. Augmented and virtual reality, AR and VR.
Pokemon Go was like our intro to AR, right? Putting digital stuff onto the real world.
Then VR, that's total immersion. Virtual real estate tours, historical events, endless possibilities. Over $29 billion by 2025.
Seems like AR and VR are finally mainstream. But that gear's still expensive for most folks.
That's the hurdle. But tech gets better, costs go down. AR and VR for everyone, that's the goal.
Okay, ready for mind-blowing. Quantum computing. This one's a bit much, even for me.
Imagine a computer using quantum mechanics, doing calculations that are impossible for even today's supercomputers.
So our computers use bits, 0 or 1. Quantum computers use qubits, 0, 1, or both at the same time. That's superposition, right?
Exactly. Exploring tons of possibilities at once. Drug discovery, new materials, unbreakable codes. But, like the video said,
Always a but, huh?
we're early days. Error rates, keeping those qubits stable, it's a huge challenge. But Google, IBM, they're pouring money in. They see the potential, for sure. Speaking of shaking things up, what about robotic process automation? RPA, right?
All about automating those boring tasks we do. Software bots, handling invoices, answering customer calls, scheduling.
Like a digital assistant that does all the tedious stuff so we can focus on the interesting work.
Exactly. But yeah, some worry about jobs disappearing because of this.
Makes sense. That RPA market's set to hit $3.74 billion by 2028, though. So it's coming, whether we like it or not.
It is. It's a big question for companies. How to balance efficiency with what happens to their employees.
Really makes you think about the future of work. Speaking of which, AI augmented development. That was in the video too, right?
Yeah, it's like AI helping developers write better code faster. Tools like GitHub Copilot are already doing this.
Dream come true for coders. But could we become too reliant on these tools? What if the AI messes up?
Those are valid points. It's about finding that balance, using AI's power, but keeping humans in charge, making sure things are done right.
All right, let's zoom out a bit. Industry cloud platforms, that's got to be huge for, well, entire industries.
Think cloud solutions tailored for healthcare, finance, manufacturing. Each industry gets its specialized tools.
So optimizing how entire sectors operate, making things more efficient, but what about security? And making sure these platforms can talk to each other.
Yeah, interoperability, that's key, especially somewhere like healthcare where different places need to share patient data smoothly.
Big challenge for sure. And this market's expected to hit, what, $83 billion by 2025?
Right. Businesses want the cloud's power, but they need solutions that fit their specific needs. So this is just getting started.
Okay, let's get personal. Smart apps. They use AI, machine learning to personalize everything and automate tasks.
Investment advice based on your risk tolerance. Healthcare apps tracking symptoms and connecting you with doctors.
Personalized, convenient, but all that needs data, right? Privacy, that's the big question mark.
Absolutely. These apps learn our habits, our preferences, even our health data. Protecting that is crucial. It's convenience versus privacy. That's the balance we need to strike.
Definitely. Now, this next one's been buzzing lately. Democratize generative AI. Sounds like a mouthful.
AI that creates stuff, text, images, even music. And democratize, that means anyone can use these powerful tools.
Like day A. Right.
Yeah.
Creating images from descriptions. It's
Yeah.
wild.
But with that power comes responsibility. Copyright issues, misuse of AI-generated content, things we have to be careful about.
Yeah, another double-edged sword. Now back to cybersecurity. Seems like we're always playing catch-up with the bad guys.
And that's where CTE comes in. Continuous threat exposure, proactive, constantly checking for weaknesses and fixing them before someone exploits them.
Okay, so it's about being vigilant, not just reacting when something bad happens.
Exactly. Especially for things like finance, healthcare, government. Data security there is non-negotiable.
Makes sense. But all this AI,
Oh.
how do we know we can trust it?
That's what AI Trism is for. AI trust, risk, and security management. Making sure AI is ethical, transparent, accountable.
So, addressing bias, protecting privacy, ensuring fairness.
Yeah.
Especially in healthcare, right?
Exactly. If AI is going to be part of our lives, we need to know it's making good decisions, fair decisions.
Makes sense. Okay, enough big picture stuff. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Platform engineering, what's that all about?
It's like you want to build software quickly and efficiently. Platform engineering gives developers the foundation they need. The right tools, all organized, ready to go.
Optimizing the whole process from start to finish.
Exactly. Helps companies scale up and get their products out there faster. It's complex to set up, but the benefits are huge if you want to be agile and scale quickly.
Okay, this next one's straight out of sci-fi. Machine customers. AI making shopping decisions.
That's it. They analyze data, predict what's needed, and place orders. No humans involved.
Like a robot personal shopper for companies.
Exactly. Reordering supplies when inventory gets low, that kind of thing. Super efficient, but yeah, what happens to the people who used to do those jobs?
Right, another trade-off to think about. Okay, last one, and it's something a lot of us are dealing with right now. The augmented connected workforce.
It's all about using tech to boost how we work, especially with all the remote and hybrid stuff going on. Think Zoom, Microsoft Teams, those tools.
Yeah, they've become essential, and all those wearables that track employee health and safety.
Exactly. But again, privacy is huge here. Companies need to be upfront about how they're using this data and making sure it's protected.
Trust and transparency, super important.
Mhm.
And this market, it's supposed to hit $9.3 billion by 2026, so clearly this is the way work is going.
It is. As work keeps changing, we can expect these trends to become even more important.
Wow, okay, that was a lot. AI, blockchain, all this amazing stuff, all happening so fast.
It is a lot to take in. But the key is, this is just a snapshot. What we talked about today, it's just the start of a much bigger conversation.
Right. Things change so quickly.
Uh-huh.
And it's not about just letting the future happen to us. It's about being part of shaping it. So, everyone listening, take a moment to process all this. All right, welcome back, everyone. That was a lot, to say the least.
Yeah, info overload for sure. But here's the thing. It's not about memorizing every single tech term we threw at you.
Right. It's about seeing the big picture, right? How all these pieces fill together.
Exactly. It's about those ripple effects, the connections between trends, like AI, for instance.
Okay, yeah, AI was a big one.
It's not just one trend on the list. It's woven into almost everything. Smart apps, making cybersecurity smarter. Even sustainability is getting an AI boost.
So AI is kind of the invisible force behind a lot of this change, and the speed of it all, it's mind-blowing. The video even mentioned AI making decisions faster than humans can in some cases.
Right. It really makes you think, what's the line between human and artificial intelligence? Where does that blur in the future?
Yeah, kind of unsettling, but fascinating too. As AI gets smarter, it's like, who's in control? What about bias creeping in?
Exactly. Those are the big questions, right? Even the most exciting tech, it's got to come with some ethical checks and
For
balances.
sure. Okay, enough deep thoughts for now.
Yeah.
What really stuck out to you from all the tech we talked about?
You know what grabbed me? Human augmentation. That idea of pushing our limits with technology. Exhilarating and a little scary at the same time.
Oh, I know. Exoskeletons, people walking again, controlling devices with your mind. It's like sci-fi becoming reality.
Right. But then how does that change who we are? Will everyone have access to this, or will it create a whole new divide? Those are the conversations we need to be having.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Me, I was really drawn to the Internet of Things. Everything connected, our homes, cities, could really change how we live.
It's all about making things more efficient, more personal. Your fridge orders groceries before you even know you're out. Your car navigates traffic like magic.
Sounds amazing. But also, all those connections. Security nightmare waiting to happen, right?
You're not wrong. Hacked smart home. That's bad enough. But what about the power grid going down? The stakes are high.
Yeah, cybersecurity isn't just for techies anymore. It's everyone's problem. Okay, so AI, human augmentation, the IoT. What about blockchain? Seems like it could revolutionize so many things.
What gets me excited is the potential for transparency. Imagine knowing exactly where your products came from, that everyone was treated fairly along the way.
Or your medical records being totally secure, but you still control them. Blockchain could give power back to people.
Absolutely. But gotta be realistic. It's still hard to scale, uses a lot of energy. Those are the hurdles we gotta clear.
Right, always trade-offs. Technology's great, but we got to be mindful of the downsides too. So we've hit the big ones: AI, IoT, human augmentation, blockchain. Anything else from the video that you think is really important for our listeners?
You know, one thing that gets lost sometimes is how important it is to just keep learning. This stuff changes so fast.
Right, it's not like you learn it once and you're good.
Yeah, exactly. We need to be curious, always evolving, adapting to whatever comes next. This video, the AI Uncovered channel, resources like that are crucial.
But it's not just about watching videos, right? It's about really engaging with this stuff.
Asking questions, trying things out. The more you explore, the better you'll be able to navigate all this change.
Makes sense. So lots of potential, lots of challenges. But what does it all mean for the people listening? How can they use this knowledge?
Ah, the million-dollar question. Everyone's answer is going to be different, but there are some basics.
All right, lay it on us. What's your advice for someone who wants to not just survive, but thrive in this tech-driven world?
First thing, stay curious. Don't be afraid to explore new tech, play with different tools, read up on what's new.
Curiosity, got it. What else?
Think about how this tech might change your industry, your job. Will AI disrupt what you do? Or will it create new opportunities?
So be strategic, be prepared. Don't just wait for the future to happen to you.
Exactly. And last but not least, don't be afraid to jump in and get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Take online courses, go to workshops, find people who are into the same stuff.
It's about being proactive, taking advantage of what's out there. Okay, before we open it up for some final thoughts, let's recap some of the big themes we've touched on today.
One that really hit home for me is ethics. Tech is powerful, and it's only getting more so. We have to make sure it's used for good, not for harm.
Yeah, totally agree. It's not just about what we can do, it's about what we should do. The impact on people, on society, on the planet. We can't ignore that.
Another big takeaway, for me at least, is that human connection still matters. Even with all this digital stuff, collaboration, creativity, that's what drives progress.
Absolutely. Tech's a tool, and it's up to us to use it wisely. Finding that balance between the tech and the human element, that's key.
Right. And we talked a lot about trade-offs. Convenience versus privacy, efficiency versus jobs. Tough choices, no easy answers.
It's about being thoughtful, weighing the pros and cons. No black and white, lots of gray areas.
Yeah.
But before I move on, I want to emphasize one thing. The future isn't something that just happens to us. We shape it. through the choices we make, how we engage with this tech.
That's a good point. We have more power than we think. We can influence where all this goes.
All right, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's leave everyone with some questions to ponder. What excites you most about all this? What worries you? And which of these technologies do you think will really shake things up in the next, say, 5, 10 years? Your life, your work, everything.
Great questions to think about. No right or wrong answers here. It's about taking all this info and applying it to your own world.
Absolutely. Maybe you're pumped about AI solving huge problems like curing diseases or finally tackling climate change. Or maybe you're nervous about jobs disappearing, AI being used for bad stuff.
Right, weighing those benefits and risks. But most importantly, let's talk about it. How do we want to shape the future with these powerful tools?
We can't forget tech is a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely. What kind of future do we want?
We have choices to make about how we integrate these technologies into our lives, and we have to speak up, make sure development is ethical, responsible.
If it all feels overwhelming, don't worry. You don't have to become a tech genius overnight. Just stay curious, stay informed.
Pick the trends that grab your attention, the ones that matter most to what you do. Dig deeper, explore. Go back and watch that YouTube video. Top 20 new technology trends that will define the future. It's from the channel AI Uncover. We'll link it in the show notes, along with some other resources we think you'll find useful.
This deep dive, it's really just a starting point. The tech world, it's always moving. New trends, new challenges popping up all the time.
That's what makes it so cool, right? It's a constant journey, always something new to learn, new possibilities to explore.
So, to everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged.
The future's not set in stone. We get to build it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of tech. We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic to explore. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.